To break this down like a little bit, what was your first like manic episode that you had? Do you remember it? What did it feel like?
I think like bipolar and I think mental illness, a lot of it is genetic. But I also think that traumas in your life kind of like unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a pretty good childhood, but also like going through divorce or we didn't have a lot of money and things like that. So there was trauma still. My dad wasn't in my life. Things like that I think add to it. Grade 10, I had a really rocky time. I went through being a straight A student, being in all the clubs, being like a model kid to failing everything, literally walking out of exams, like having a big attitude problem, like just not giving a fuck about anything, which was so out of character.
Mm-hmm.
My mom literally thought I was on drugs. She brought me to the doctors. I think they tested my blood. She like made a doctor like give me like the sex talk because she thought I was like being sexually active and I was doing none of those things. I had my brothers like this is when like G what's it called? G-Shock or something?
Yeah, it was a thing.
And I had his like watch for some reason from his birthday and I gave it to somebody because I felt like they needed to have it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like my teachers were all like, oh, she's just having a phase. It's just a phase, like it'll pass. And it did pass. And then I went back to like straight A student and like normal, whatever normal is until third year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you first had your manic episode, you weren't able to identify it. Your family
didn't know
what it
what it
was.
was. No.
And it wasn't until later in university where you were able to actually get diagnosed.
Yeah, but that was like the process of like going to the therapist. That was like, oh, you're just depressed, and going to all these people to finally get in front of a psychiatrist, which would have taken a year or more to even do, like to even get in front of one. So it was a blessing. Like the diagnosis was 100% a blessing. It's scary. It's a scary word. But it's like if you have the diagnosis, then you can start to treat it. And if you don't know what you have, then it's like, what are you treating? You're treating a mystery.
Did you feel better then after you got the diagnosis, or was it scary?
It was relieved to know, to have a name of like what I'm going through and have acknowledgement that this is actually like a thing that is serious and that we need to treat and like get under control, because I was young and it's like I wanted to have a life. You know, I didn't want to keep going through this depressive and manic and ups and downs. Like it's not healthy for me. So it was a blessing to have the diagnosis. It was scary to know that I have to take this medication for the rest of my life every single day, no matter what. And then the medication process it's trial and error. Like brain medicine there's so much that they don't know, and everything is like, well, we'll just try it out, see how it goes. But it's like when it's your health, there's side effects, there's like all these like interactions and all of these things. So it can take years to get the right dosage and the right combination and all of those things. You know, having bad experiences with the police, having bad experiences like even with my family and everything, and ending up like in psych wards, that's really scary too. I want to say it's part of the process, but hopefully not for everyone. But for me, it very much was.
Yeah.
It's a terrible experience because for me, I've never gone willingly. It's always been against my will.
I think you said one of my biggest goals is to walk myself into a psych ward.
I mean, ideally, hopefully I'll never have to go into one again, but on all of the times I've been in the psych ward, it's always been against my will. And when it's against your will, it means you're formed, which means you can't even leave to go outside for some fresh air. It's like a prison sentence. It's a lot nicer than prison, but you can't get out. And that in itself, when you're there against your will, you're not open to whatever they're trying to do. You're not receptive. Yeah. And also you're like coming off a manic episode. So they're not even listening to you.
You need comfort. You need like support.
It's a lot of trauma, and all the doctors and the nurses, they're kind of like taking what you're saying and just like not acknowledging it because you're crazy.
Because they deal with it all the time.
Maybe they're over it.
Yeah. But I would imagine that experience, like you said, trauma could sometimes trigger a manic episode.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that experience would be traumatic.
It makes it worse for a while, and then they like pump you with drugs. Then you kind of level out after a while. Sometimes they like strap you down and inject you with drugs if you don't want to take them. It's like, it's not fun. For me though, like it's part of the process. I guess it's like a thing that you had to go through. It's very much a survival thing. The doctors and stuff, like, they don't really understand you, but there are other patients there who are schizophrenic, who are bipolar, who have BPD, who are depressive, who are living these lives. You know, they're obviously also in crisis. But listening to people that are like you, that have had similar life experiences as you, that's when you're like, okay, I'm not alone in this. It's not just me. There's all these people around me, and like, we're all in this together. I remember I had to do this like workshop in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it was like how to get through panic attacks. And there was like this big conference room. There's like 30 of us, all patients sitting, and there's this like young like white girl, like straight out of university, leading the workshop. And she starts it off with saying, I've never had a panic attack, but these are the steps to da 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 da. And I was like sitting next to her, and I just turned and I was like, why would you open with you've never had
a
one?
panic attack, yeah.
I'm like, what am I gonna learn from you? Yeah. And I got up and walked out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'd like to speak to people that have had panic attacks that can talk to me about lived experience.
Yeah.
I think lived experience is so, so important. And I'm just like, not in for the bullshit.
Do you have any friends who also have bipolar?
I do have some friends like that are bipolar. I don't know if I have any that are super close to me that have like exactly what I have. I have some friends that are BPD and whatever. What's interesting is that when you're in the psych ward, you make friends with everyone. You're like best friends, and you spend every second together, and you're literally coloring. That's the only thing you can do
yeah.
is just color. And you have these really strong connections, and then you exchange social medias and you exchange information. But then when you leave, it's like, okay, we're past that now. Like, now we're like starting our new lives, and you don't often stay in touch. But yeah, like, I have those people that I met in hospital and stuff.
Yeah, it's still somewhat of a support system that you could rely on if you wanted to. I also want to kind of put like a lighthearted spin on this, because some of the
Is it
things
dark right now?
No, it's not dark. Honestly, this might be my favorite
darker.
conversation, because I'm like, I so love having conversations with people who are open and honest.
Yeah.
And I was like, right when we were having this conversation, I just had a million thoughts, and we could talk about that after too. I love this conversation. And I do want to say that it is also somewhat lighthearted, because I know of some of the things you have done when you've been manic. And I'm like, why do I get it? It's hard. It's rough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can only imagine what you were going through, but also like badass. You know what I mean? Because, okay, can you share some of like the funny things that you've done when you've done
Do we
that?
want funny or fucked up?
Do both, please.
Oh my gosh.
Variety.
I don't know about a funny one, but the thing is, with someone that's manic or someone who's like in a heightened state, that whatever is in their mind is their reality. Like, it's real to them. So you can see it and you'd be like, what the heck is going on? But it's like, it's not matching.
Yeah.
So for example, like one of the times I was manic, I saw a building being built like on a corner, and I was like, yeah, that's right. I wanted a building to go there. So that's why they're putting it there, because I want it there. I'm not an architect.
That's so funny.
I'm not a city planner. I've never spoken to a single person about a building there. I remember I was like in the back of a cab, which that's how you know I was manic, because I never take cabs. And the radio was on, and I was like, yeah, the radio is speaking to me. Like, I understand. It's like all for me. And like, me being stable right now, I would never have that thought. I would never think the radio is speaking to me, because I have like logical reasoning. Yeah. And I know that that's not possible. But in the moment, it's your truth. You feel elevated. You feel like unstoppable, really.
Yeah. So when you are having a manic episode, you feel good.
Yeah. I mean, you feel good. You're elevated, because it's like, you know, the happy chemicals in your brain, like dopamine, serotonin, they spike. Yeah. So someone could perceive you as like being on drugs, but you're not on anything. You're just like on your own brain. But also you can be very aggressive and very confrontational. So you would have arguments with people that you normally would not even pursue that, or you would walk away. But when you're in that place, you don't sleep, you don't eat, your mind is moving very quickly. You feel like everyone around you is moving too slow or thinking too slow or speaking too slow. If you can speak languages, you speak those languages much better. Like when I'm manic, I swear I'm fluent in Spanish and French and Greek and English.
Really?
God knows what else.
That's so funny.
You're also, at least for myself, over posting on social media.
Yeah.
Going on live all the time. And it's like embarrassing because you're not like, maybe some of the things you say are like profound and interesting, but not everything.
Yeah.
And I was like rapping a lot. I have a friend who is a producer, and I would like buy studio time and just go in there and just like rap over beats. But I have none of them. I don't have any of it. You start a million things and finish nothing. And so that it's unfortunate. It's like if you could use that energy and that momentum like for good, it would be amazing. But it never comes out positive.